What's the most creative way you've ever followed your parents' rules just to annoy them? My parents had this absolute obsession with proper dinner etiquette when I was growing up. The rule was crystal clear: no elbows on the table during meals. My dad would literally tap the back of my arm with his fork if I slipped up. 3 strikes in one meal meant washing dishes for a week. No exceptions, no appeals process. By 13, I was fed up. If they wanted proper etiquette, I'd give them proper etiquette. But not just any etiquette. I went full 1800s Victorian aristocracy on them. It started small. I began using excessively formal language at dinner. "Mother, would you be so kind as to pass the salt? I find this chicken, while prepared with obvious care and affection, lacks the proper sodium content for my developing palate." My mom shot my dad a confused look. Dad just shrugged. The next night, I showed up to dinner wearing my church clothes and a clip-on tie. I pulled out my mom's chair for her, bowed slightly, and said, "Your seat awaits, madam." When my little sister giggled, I turned to her with deadly seriousness and said, "A lady never laughs with her mouth full, dear sister." My parents thought it was a phase. It wasn't. I started bringing a cloth napkin to the table, which I would dramatically unfold and place on my lap with flourish. I'd dab the corners of my mouth after every third bite, regardless of whether anything was there. "One must maintain appearances," I'd explain to no one in particular. I studied Victorian table manners online and implemented every bizarre rule I could find. I'd hold my soup spoon outward from the bowl, sipping from the side rather than the tip. "The proper way," I'd announce, according to Queen Victoria's personal etiquette advisor. My dad finally broke when I started bringing a small bell to dinner, which I'd ring whenever I needed something passed. "Butler's bell," I explained innocently. "Since we're so concerned with proper table etiquette, I assumed we'd want to embrace all aspects of formal dining." "We don't have a butler," my dad said through gritted teeth. "Then perhaps someone should inform Mother, as she appears to be serving in that capacity," I replied with a straight face while gesturing to Mom passing the potatoes. The situation escalated when I created formal place cards for everyone, with increasingly elaborate titles. My dad became Lord Father of the Household, Keeper of the Sacred Wi-Fi Password. My mom was Her Royal Highness, Provider of Sustenance and Laundry Services. My sister was simply the other child. The breaking point came during a dinner with my grandparents. I arrived at the table carrying a small notebook, which I consulted throughout the meal. When my grandmother asked what I was doing, I explained I was keeping a detailed record of etiquette violations for future reference. I then proceeded to announce infractions throughout the meal. "Grandfather has used his dessert spoon for soup. Note the time, 6:22 p.m. Or, "Mother has refilled her water without offering to others first. Most unseemly." My dad nearly choked on his chicken when I announced, "Father has chewed with his mouth open for approximately 2.3 seconds. The Queen would be most displeased." That night, they finally cracked. The new rule: no elbows on the table, and absolutely no Victorian etiquette performances. I won. Now when Dad reminds us about elbows, I just dab my mouth with a napkin and whisper, "Most unseemly." He hasn't used his fork to tap my arm since.